Welcome back. All right, so I've been talking about playoff performers. Billy Smith, very good goaltender in playoffs. The career of Larry Robinson that I just did a couple days ago, excellent playoff performer, 6 rings as a player, 4 more as a coach or an associate coach. And now we're going to talk about Joe Nieuwendyk, a player who you get a cup with him, you get one. And it's funny because, in putting this video together, I was like, yeah, he won cups in 3 locations, and he won 3 cups. Never multiple cups, so don't get greedy. You got your Stanley Cup, move on to the next town. So Joe Nieuwendyk was a number 27 pick in 1985. So second rounder. At that point, you have a 21-team league, right? So 86-87, he makes his debut with the Flames, and he only played the 9 games, 5 goals, 1 assist, 6 points. The goal scoring was really the storyline with Joe Nieuwendyk throughout most of his career. In the playoffs that year, 6 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. And that was a year after the Calgary Flames had gone all the way to the Stanley Cup final. 87-88, his first full season, 75 games, 51 goals, which was 5th in the NHL, 41 assists, 92 points. And this was a Flames team that was already pretty stacked before Nieuwendyk got there, and he just made it worse. 8 games in the playoffs, 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points. I'm a Canucks fan. I see it as worse. Anyway, 7 points in 8 games for him in the playoffs. He did play in the All-Star game. He did win the Calder Trophy, of course, with 51 goals. And his 31 power play goals were first in the NHL that year. So 31 power play goals as a rookie. Pretty strong numbers. So in a second year, you look to see if there's a sophomore jinx. You look to see if teams play a player or play against a player a little different in order to, better counteract him. Well, Nieuwendyk in 77 games the following season, 51 goals again, 5th in the league again, 31 assists, 82 points. So his points dropped by 10, but his goals are the same. So back-to-back 50-goal seasons to start his career. And it is one of those instances where somebody sets the bar really high. He didn't have another 50-goal season in his career. So in the playoffs, 22 games, 10 goals, 4 assists, 14 points. The Flames went on a run. They win their only Stanley Cup to date. All-Star game, he was in that, and his 11 game-winning goals were first overall in the NHL. So he leads the league in power play goals in year 1. Year 2, he leads the league in game-winning goals. Again, setting the bar extremely high. So 89-90, plays 79 games, 45 goals, which is 9th overall in the NHL, 50 assists for 95 points. So that's his highest point total in his career, and it's year 3. So again, the expectations, pretty darn high. 6 games in the playoffs, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points. And he played in the All-Star game yet again. So this is where the Flames, 1990 was a rough heartbreak for the Flames to lose because they were looking for back-to-back Stanley Cups, right? 90-91, 79 games, 45 goals again. So remarkably consistent. 51, 51, 45, 45. He was 7th overall in the NHL with the 45 goals. 40 assists, 85 points in the playoffs, 7 games played, 4 goals, 1 assist, 5 points. And it is remarkable how quickly the storyline in Calgary went from that Stanley Cup and celebrating it to, why can't these guys win in the playoffs? It was within a couple of years we were already hearing that. 91-92, 69 games played, just 22 goals. So, whether hindered by injury or just a down year, he had 22 goals, 34 assists, 56 points. So still the points total is pretty good. So his goal total has come down. Now we're into the period where Gilmore's traded off to Toronto. There's some questionable decisions being made, that trade being one of the major ones. And the Flames having some struggles. So no playoffs that year for Joe Nieuwendyk. 92-93, 79 games, 38 goals, 37 assists, 75 points. Hey, if you're going to settle in somewhere, settling in around 40 goals is pretty good. 6 games in the playoffs, 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points. 93-94, 64 games played, so he missed games due to injury. 36 goals, 39 assists, 75 points. So his points total stays exactly the same, even though he played 15 less games. So he had a very good year when he was healthy. In the playoffs, 6 games played, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. And he plays in what would end up being his final All-Star game, which I have to be honest, surprises me. I'm surprised he didn't play in more All-Star games. So 94-95, we had a lockout shortened season that year. 46 games, 21 goals, 29 assists, 50 points. Again, remarkable point per game player. His goal total drops, sure, but he still got the points. The assists are going up. In the playoffs, 5 games, 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points. and he wins the King Clancy Trophy for leadership on and off the ice. So Nieuwendyk, known for his work in the community, all this other fun stuff. And really, the Flames, while as a team, we're seeing the Flames having some struggles here, not able to get out of the first round. But there's discussions, too, about money. This is where you're starting to get into the money problems, where, the Nordiques move. The Jets are going to move. And there was discussions about whether or not either of the teams in Alberta would survive. The Canadian dollar was down, and there was no salary cap. There was no equalization payments. There was nothing there to safeguard Canadian teams from just leaving. And so there was real concern with finances with Calgary. So the Flames, seeing that Nieuwendyk is up for a new contract, offer him a 3-year contract for a total of $6 million. Nieuwendyk looks at that and says, no, I'm not taking that. So this is where the storyline would start to come in about Canadian teams being able to hold on to their star players. Because now he's into a holdout. He is not coming back into the lineup. He is not going to sign a 3-year, $6 million contract. It's not going to happen. So what happens is he ends up on the trade block. The Dallas Stars, a team that are pretty good, looking to get over the hump themselves, trade for him on December 19th for Jerome Iginla and Corey Millen. And Iginla was kind of an unknown at that point. Corey Millen, I liked as a player. I thought he was okay. After the trade, his numbers with Dallas were kind of a disappointment. 52 games, 14 goals, 18 assists, 32 points. It is not all that unusual to see a player who goes through a holdout and doesn't go through training camp to end up having a down year by their standard, right? So 96-97, 66 games played, so he missed some games that year. 30 goals, 21 assists, 51 points. So 30-goal season, that's good. In the playoffs, 7 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points for Dallas. 97-98, 73 games played, 39 goals, which was 7th in the NHL. That's the last time he was top 10 in goal scoring. 30 assists for 69 points. He only played 1 game in the playoffs, but he did have a goal in it, so he was on an 82-goal pace over a regular season if that was the case. But reality was he only played the 1 game. 98-99, 67 games during the regular season, so he missed 15 games there. 28 goals, 27 assists, 55 points. Consistent, good goal scorer, good leader, very good player, and in the playoffs, 23 games, 11 goals, 10 assists, 21 points. Stanley Cup win, check mark for the Dallas Stars, and he's the Conn Smythe Trophy winner. So, really, for Dallas, Nieuwendyk's a huge addition. Losing Iginla in that trade, sure, long term it hurts and, all of this fun stuff, but the reality is they win that Stanley Cup. If they don't trade for Joe Nieuwendyk, who knows if they actually would have won that Stanley Cup. Yes, having Iginla in Dallas that whole career would have been nice too. But, who knows if they would have won it. 99-2000. 48 games played that year for Nieuwendyk. 15 goals, 19 assists, 34 points. And missing games is kind of a thing for Nieuwendyk at this point. 23 games in the playoffs. So playoff time, he plays. Telling you he plays through injury. He misses that much during the regular season, doesn't miss any in the postseason. He plays through injury. And in those playoffs, in those 23 games, 7 goals, 3 assists, 10 points. Dallas gets right to the final. Cannot repeat. They lose against the New Jersey Devils. And clearly he must have had some good conversations with the Devils. 2000-2001, 69 games played, 29 goals, 23 assists, 52 points. So again, when he's in the lineup, very good, solid goal scorer. In the playoffs, 7 games played and 4 goals. 2001-2002, plays 67 games for Dallas, 23 goals, 24 assists, 47 points. And Dallas is looking to change things up. So is New Jersey. That's why I said maybe he had a good conversation with the Devils during that Stanley Cup final. Because that's where he goes. And he goes with Jamie Langenbrunner. So this was a trade that at the time I was not really a huge fan of. As a fan of Jamie Langenbrunner, I was like, seriously, why did they trade him? Well, they got a 2002 first that would be traded to Buffalo, became Daniel Paille. Also, Jason Arnott ends up going to Dallas, and Randy McKay. So I didn't hate the trade because I really liked Arnott, but seeing Nieuwendyk and Langenbrunner go, that was tough. And then in New Jersey after the trade, 14 games, 2 goals, 9 assists, 11 points. 5 games in the playoffs, and 1 assist. So we go to the 02-03 season, and the goal scoring's really dropped off at this point. 80 games played, 17 goals, 28 assists for 45 points. But in the playoffs, 17 games played, 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points. and he gets a Stanley Cup with the New Jersey Devils. So that's one in Calgary, one in Dallas, one in New Jersey. Now what's interesting is that, of course, that's the third for New Jersey overall, but it was the first for Dallas, to this point the only for Dallas, the first for Calgary, the only for Calgary. I guess maybe the Florida Panthers, where he finished his career, need to bring him out of retirement next year. I know how ridiculous that sounds, but maybe they get their first Stanley Cup. Anyways, so September 9th of the following year, he signs as a UFA with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So here we go. Toronto's going to get a Stanley Cup. No. 64 games played overall in the regular season, 22 goals, 28 assists, 50 points. In the playoffs, he played 9 games and had 6 goals. Now, the 9 games tell you Toronto got out of the first round. The last time they got out of the first round was against the Ottawa Senators, and they had Joe Nieuwendyk on their team. So, yeah, that was the only year he played in Toronto, which honestly was kind of surprising to me at the time. But August 1st of the following year, he signs as a UFA with the Florida Panthers, which, oddly enough, seems to be a place where players go to retire. Florida, 65 games played that first season, 05-06, 26 goals, 30 assists, 56 points. But as you can see, he misses a lot of time. He was going through a lot of back pain. The back pain wasn't getting better. Back pain generally doesn't usually get better as you get older. If you're one of the older viewers, you know what I'm talking about. So in the 06-07 season, he only plays 15 games, 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points, and that back pain just got to the point where he couldn't fight through it. And it was chronic back pain, couldn't get through that, and so his career ends up being ended, I would say prematurely. However, he did play 1,257 games, which is 89th on the overall list, 564 goals, which is 24th all-time, with 562 assists, 1,126 points, which is 61st all-time. In the playoffs, 158 games, 66 goals, 50 assists, 116 points, and 3 Stanley Cups with 3 different teams. He was elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2011. He won Olympic gold for Canada in 2002 in Salt Lake, and 1986, he actually got a silver medal at the World Junior Tournament. So Joe Nieuwendyk had a very solid career. Again, if you wanted a Stanley Cup, Nieuwendyk might be the guy for you. If you wanted multiple Stanley Cups, he didn't really do multiple Stanley Cups in one location. So Nieuwendyk had an excellent career, nice long career, and he was one of my favorite players when he was in Dallas. There was never a question about effort. There was never a question about heart when it came to Nieuwendyk. The body sometimes gave out, the spirit never did. And yeah, player I always respected. So there you go. Career of Joe Nieuwendyk. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.